If my wife buys a Lamborghini now, or she gets a 5-bedroom duplex that she bought with her money, my brother, my sister, I will enjoy it with her. Or she buys a private jet now, my brother, my sister, I'm telling you to your face, I will enjoy it with her. Thank you very much. Hello everyone. How are you today?
Fine.
My name is Muyiwa.
And I'm Oyin Consola.
And this is Love and Emotions Hub. Trust all of you are doing great.
Yeah.
Today we're doing a very fantastic video, and the title of that video is How Great Couples Manage Their Emotions. One of the reasons why we're doing this video is because we noticed that a lot of people are scared about maybe they will become great couples or not. And we are examples of great couples. I want to give you from our own experience, and from what we have also learned over time, and also the kind of couples we have as our models, the good couples, great couples I've seen around. And that's why we brought this point, so that you too, you can benefit from these things. How do you know how to manage your emotions as great couples, so that you know what to do when there's a fight, when there's a disagreement and things like that? All right. Emotions control how you think, how you talk, and how you act. Because when you are angry, some people don't know how to behave. The same way, when some people are very happy, they don't even know how to behave, Examples of emotions could be sadness, happiness, anger, love as a feeling, because there are two different kinds of love. There's aside from the types of love, there are two kinds of love. There's love the feeling and love the action. So a lot of people base their own on love the feeling. Love the feeling is just a feeling. Butterflies in my belly, exactly. So that's kind of another emotion, So let's go into those 5 points that we're going to give on how great couples manage their emotions. Number 1, great couples define their emotions. You had an argument or a disagreement with your spouse, for instance. Now, you who is at the receiving end, and let me say this, ideally, it's even both parties too that are supposed to assess the situation. Both the person that caused the argument, and the person who was at the receiving end is supposed to assess this emotion, this definition of emotion. So the person who lashed out, for instance, let's give lashing out as an example. The person who lashed out supposed to go back and look at it, that why did I lash out? Then for the person who received the emotion, the person too is supposed to look at it, that wait, what am I feeling? Yes, what am I feeling right now based on the lashing out that this person lashed out on me, or this person just walked out on me? How do I feel now? So because sometimes, let me paint a scenario here. Sometimes, let's say for instance now, a woman, for instance, I'm just giving this example. A woman got promotion at work, and then she comes home and she's overjoyed, and she comes home and the husband is like, okay, so what happened? And she says she got promotion, and all of a sudden the man's countenance just changed to anger. Now, in itself, anger is not even really the emotion. The emotion is, number 1, could be insecurity, could be jealousy, could be anything like that. So go to the root of that emotion and know what it is, so that you can address that root. And by the way, that is a problem in itself. You being jealous of what the success, yes, your spouse's achievement, is a problem in itself. So as much as possible, ensure that, because we are a team, yourself and your spouse, you are one, we're a team. So work together. It's your win. Imagine if my wife buys a Lamborghini now, or she gets a 5-bedroom duplex that she bought with her money, my brother, my sister, I will enjoy it with her. Or she buys a private jet now, my brother, my sister, I'm telling you to your face, I will enjoy it. Thank you very much. Because at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation. She can't buy that thing and say that I will not enter. In fact, I will be the first to ride it. Yes, I'll be the one to fly, the first person to fly it, So that's what we're saying, that see it as a win-win situation. Be it the man who is making success in what they are doing, or the woman making success in what they are doing, see it as a success for both parties. So that's number one. Great couples define their emotions. Number two, great couples find out why. You want to know, why am I feeling the way I am feeling? Because sometimes a scenario can come in and then the person is trying to find out, why am I feeling annoyed? Why am I feeling this resentment? And the reason why it's important for you to find out why is because in some instances, in some cases, some people's emotions in a particular scenario can be traced back to how they were raised. For some people, it can be traced back to bad experiences they've had in the past. For some people, it could be maybe the way their ex treated them and they didn't heal properly. They didn't heal properly from whatever hurt the person caused to them. And now they have brought it into this new relationship or into this marriage, and it's rearing its ugly head. And this is one of the reasons why we tell people that when you are leaving somebody, or when there's a breakup or anything like that, make sure you heal before you move on to the next relationship. Because your former relationship, the hurt from your former relationship, is going to sabotage the goodness in the new relationship. In fact, it happens sometimes that the new partner has a good heart towards you, but you tag it as, we don't even know what he's thinking, we don't know what she's thinking, all of them are the same, all those things. And because of that, you now begin to respond negatively towards somebody who is showing you love, who is showing you care, kindness, and you now get frustrated on a kindness that is being shown to you. This is very wrong. So that's why I said great couples do what? They find out why they are feeling the way. So that, and the reason why they're doing that, so that they can address the root cause. Because if you don't address the root cause, you will not be able to address the issue itself. If you're just cutting the branches, they will grow again. But if you root it out, you uproot it totally, then it will not be there anymore. So great couples find out why. Number three, great couples pause and think before they act. Number one, they pause. Number two, they think before they act.
So when things happen to you and you have series of emotions going through you, maybe you are sad or you are angry, and like we've said, that number one, define your emotions. I know I'm angry. Find out why, whatsoever why it is. Now you pause and think. And what do we mean by pausing and thinking? Before you do any other thing next, now that you know that you are angry because maybe you feel overpowered, for example, you pause and say, okay, now that I feel overpowered and I'm reacting this way, what am I supposed to do next? How am I supposed to express my feelings to my spouse? Right? So that is what we mean by pause and think. We don't, even after knowing what exactly the thing is and why it happened or why you're reacting that way, you still need to pause, think, and strategize how you move forward. Your moving forward is not just sporadic, it's not just impulsive, it's strategic, right? And you can only be strategic when you pause and think, analyze, sit down and say, whether you're sitting down or not sitting down anyways, but in your head you're settling and saying that, okay, this is it, this is what happened, and this is how I'm going to approach this situation. Because if you don't pause and think, even though you got the first step right, the second step right, and you don't pause and think and just be like, I'm angry because of this one,
and because of that, you want to give it to the person,
you nullified your first two steps.
Yes.
Right. And in processes, you cannot skip a step. If you skip a step, you will ruin the other steps and even the other good
results
ones
too that you're even expecting.
So another thing we used to say is that when you are boiling or when you are having ranges of emotions and you want to respond back, ask yourself, am I supposed to respond now?
Am I supposed to respond first?
Yes, am I supposed to respond first?
Yes.
And if okay, I'm supposed to respond, must it be now? So when you ask yourself those questions and you are able to give yourself the appropriate, honest answer, then you know that okay, maybe I should just give myself some time. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe. I do that a lot, really. I do that sometimes when I'm at work and something or some people or some workers, people can be very funny, and they come and stress me. In fact, this last 2-3 weeks, we've been on a project at work that has been stalling for about 2 or 3 years. And working with artisans, working with contractors can be a lot. After a while, I just had to say to myself that Oyinkansola, irrespective of whatsoever thing these people do, I'm going to be at peace with myself. I'm not going to react on it. And it was at that point when I made that decision, I felt like the thing went like times 1,000.
Look at that.
So when people do something to me, in my mind, before I even utter a word, I just like breathe out, breathe in and breathe out. Okay.
And I see her do that a lot, actually.
Yes, breathe in and breathe out. You got this. I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'll process my emotion. Like everything happens in my head in split seconds because obviously I need to respond, right? But in my mind, I'm breathing and breathing. I'm doing all of those things, and
because, to save you a lot of drama.
Yes, when these things happen like this, because I'm not just my being. I carry the person of Christ, right? And I carry light, and this thing needs to show, right? Even in my words, I make sure that whatever thing comes out of my mouth does not negate this identity. So when I want to voice it out, I'm conscious of my words. I'm processing what I'm saying before it comes out of my mouth, and I gradually see that this is it. And I find myself passing the information across in the best possible way without raising my voice, without showing or without being rude and all of those things. So the same thing happens in this pause and think effect. You need to pause and think about these things and know how best to communicate. Yes, your actions. So that takes us to the next one.
And really that's going to save you in your relationship, in your marriage a lot of times, because there's something I've learned from her, is this pause and think thing. Because I noticed that sometimes when some things happened and she was supposed to address it immediately, she would just wait for a while, and by the time we're now addressing it, the way she will say it, I'm like, okay, I get the message, you understand? And then the correction one needs to take, one takes it immediately. If not, if you had come to me, and for us men, most of us, there's that ego, and that's the truth, if she has come the other way and come heavy like that, I don't like this one, you will not get the kind of results you are looking for, compared to if you are calm and they address the matter, giving the point. In fact, that pause and think makes you be able to analyze the points well.
Without saying things vaguely or just scatteredly.
You know how to order your points and it makes sense. So that's point 3, pause and think. Great couples do that. Point number 4. Great couples communicate effectively. So after we moved from point 1 to point 2 to point 3, now we're at point 4. After you've paused and thought about the matter, then you will communicate effectively. So you look at your spouse and say, okay, now that I've paused and thought about this thing, because at that point in time you are not going to lash out or respond
to
harshly,
communicate your feelings without the use of probably insults or rude words or words that can even be more hurting, and in a better position to say it. In fact, your spouse too might have probably cooled down a little bit, so both of you are not hot.
Exactly. So and one of the things people do is some people just take a walk sometimes to get cool head. A lot of men actually do that, which is a good thing anyways. I've seen cases where even a client says something like that he discussed with his wife, that's how they will handle it. So if he is angry, that he will just take a walk, and the wife should understand that, see, this is the best thing that I can do now. They will address it later. Then the wife now said, when she is angry, that he should not move out, that he should just hug her. You understand? So that's why I was saying
So
these things.
emotional.
So that's why I was saying these things that
Do you hug me?
for some people. Did you tell me to hug you? so different strokes for different folks.
Yes.
That's why the two of you need to discuss it and agree on the best technique that you want to use that will work effectively for you. So, and as we said, point 4 is communicate effectively. At this point, have you liked? Because we are sure you're enjoying this video.
Yeah.
Have you liked? Have you shared? Have you subscribed? If you have not done those things, please do them now. Just go to the buttons down, the subscribe button, the thumbs up button, and give this video a thumb up. And then you can put in the comment section to your comments. Yeah. Body language is actually very effective. It's a very serious form of communicating. Yoruba will say something. I'm sorry for using Yoruba language. They say "Belela ko labo." For some people, they can be saying sorry, and they don't actually mean
body language. It's like, oh,
exactly.
You want to down? Let me get around.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why we say it's effective communication, not just communication, effective ones. Yeah. Because as you're looking at what the person is saying, as you're listening to what the person is saying, you should also be reading the person's body language
and even tone.
And tone.
Hey.
Tone too is part of body language. Yes. Look at the tone, look at the body language, all those things very important. Because those things are things that will really depict the original thing that is being said. You know,
the words,
the sincerity behind the words, you know. And sometimes you may not even be saying sorry, but your body language will show that sorry.
Remorseful. Yeah.
Do you get? So that's why it's important that both parties involved should know how to effectively communicate. Another important point is perspective. Sometimes the reason why somebody is doing something that is getting you annoyed may not actually be the reason that you are thinking. Let me paint a scenario. Something happened. A client was telling me one time that a guy came to see her in the office. She is a medical practitioner, you know, so she came out of her office helping a patient out of the patient, you know, something like this, helping the patient out of the office, something like this. A male patient, she's a female, was helping a male patient out of, and the guy saw her. The guy was livid. The guy was mad. What the guy just did, he just turned away. I just turned back. Jealousy, so, you know, for a long time, this guy was not talking to this lady and all that. He was wondering, we didn't fight. There was no disagreement. It was later when the lady persisted, asked that, what did I do? He now said, you. So you have started messing up with people now. I saw you, you know, of which, what was she doing? She was helping a patient who had knee injury, who could not walk by himself. She was helping him out of her office. Look at that.
Look at that.
So see, perspective. And immediately he heard that, he now calmed down.
You'll not be feeling like
what he should have done at the start.
Yes, now. If now me, if I'd been the one, I would even come and be like, what's happening here?
Yes. Say,
hello, Mr. How are you? I'm Mr. A.
Do you get?
And you know, let's know what's happening.
Yeah, so that's why we're talking a lot about emotions.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why emotional intelligence is very important. Be emotionally intelligent. Be emotionally intelligent.
Because we're not talking about emotional intelligence.
Yes, we will probably talk about that in another video.
Because I mean, like, if you're in a relationship with this person and you are seeing something, you don't even know what is behind it. You've made up your decision based on what you are seeing from afar.
You cannot even ask questions. Are you in a relationship with this person? Or you are married to this person?
All of those things. Now it could make sense.
Could make sense. It didn't make sense. All right. So that takes us to point number 5. Great couples seek help if it's too unbearable. Yeah. Now, one of the reasons why great couples do this is because they know, especially in cases where they've tried to work on this thing, but they cannot do it by themselves. Yeah. They just need that third eye. Yeah. And that third eye is a trained eye. Yeah. A trained eye, a more knowledgeable eye, a more matured eye, and when I mean matured, I'm not even talking about age now. Matured in sense of exposure, experience. Do you understand? And knowledge,
Yeah.
So sometimes, especially in cases where you've tried something, it has
Tried
not worked.
addressing
The two of you have
an
tried
issue,
addressing it,
you say you would improve, but
and
it
it
keeps
keeps reoccurring.
reoccurring.
Then you
Then you
should
should
know.
know that by your own knowledge or know-how, you guys cannot address it. And if
Exactly.
you don't want it to escalate
To
or get
escalate.
worse, you need to get help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
and that's why we are here for you.
And that's why we're here for you. So if such is happening to you or to any couple that you know,
Yes,
they're having these recurrent issues.
Yes, dealing with one particular issue for some time,
Please.
Time to reach out to
Please
us.
reach out to us.
Yes.
Our links are in the description box on Instagram, on Facebook, you can send us a mail, at loveandemotions@gmail.com, So you see it on the screen too and on the description box. Please reach out.
Yes.
Reach out so that we can help you.
Reach out as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
Don't let it be too late.
Don't let it linger. Things like this, it's not nice. It's not right for it to linger. Let me paint a scenario for you. A cancer patient who goes to the hospital when it is still at the budding phase, like maybe stage 1, has a high chance of survival than a cancer patient who goes to the hospital at stage 4. So now is the time. Deal with it as soon as possible. Please don't linger.
I know that finances might be a thing, but in the long run, it's okay when you're able to deal with some of these things, because if the money you guys will spend, if some of these things don't work out, or if you guys go your separate ways, it's not the money you spend on counseling is worth much more than what can happen in the worst case scenario.
And the point is, even how much are you even spending for even the counseling? How much compared to the kind of loss, emotional hurt, separation, damage,
if you
in
have
different forms,
starting all over again. For some people that most probably get married again, is how money you used to get married. You don't, if you just want to go to registry, you still pay more money.
Even divorce, if you pay divorce lawyers.
Don't let a lot of even talk about divorce, because divorce is a whole lot. The money you spend divorce,
and even the time, time you will spend, because they won't just divorce it now. It will take a while.
Yes, and it's going to take a toll on everything.
Everything.
That's the truth of the matter. We are not. We're not saying these things just to say it. We know the things that are involved. We counsel people. We know the things that are going on that. We can't just come here and be telling you all of these things. So when we say some of these things, know that we know what you are saying.
You are seeing how I'm doing my face already.
We know what you are saying. So please, if you also know anybody that needs counseling, convince them to know that. Don't let them say that counselors and money. It's not.
Let me shock you people. Something happened. I had a particular client. His wife had been telling him over the years, over 12 years, that go for counseling. This man say all those counselors, forget them. Nothing.
Just sit down.
They just sit down and be
talking to you. They're collecting your money.
Do you know the funniest thing? After just some weeks back, about a few months back, he now reached out by himself without his wife's notice.
This thing has gotten to this place of his mind.
And
it's just a small thread that was holding their marriage. Just a small thread.
Because the wife had already she had already decided that she was going to divorce.
If not for God's grace, she had planned getting divorced earlier
this year.
But for God's grace, she just lingered a little bit, and that was the same time that this man came for counseling.
Exactly.
And things are getting better.
Oh my God.
They're already reconciling already. And it just remains just a small thread like this, but that's in the court.
Oh my God.
And must still reach that level.
The number of sessions we've had already, let me just leave it at that. Because this man has now realized. He has now realized. So sometimes when I just see people say, counseling, forget, I just look at them and say, okay, no problem. When there's something you say, when something gets to shove, when roots gets to shove or something like that, you know what happened, right? So I want to admonish you that you don't get to that point where everything has gotten to shipwreck and everything has now scattered before you seek help. So please, I want to admonish you, seek help now that you can, you know, and salvage your relationship or salvage your marriage.
And this also goes out to people that are planning on getting married. Married to premarital counseling. We see some things, we hear some things about singles about to get married that they're already saying, and they are going to social media to be asking questions that should I still marry? Should I not still marry? Let me just end it. Let me just hold it here, because if I should, let out how I feel seeing these different things on a steady. Singles, before you get married, go for enroll for premarital counseling.
Compulsory is not even negotiable.
What I'm telling you is going
negotiable.
to save you a lot. You might not see it, but it's going to save you a lot. Enroll for premarital counseling. It's very, very important. I will not say more than that. The peace of the Lord be with you.
So we've come to the end of this video. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, drop your comment. Let's see your comment on this video, and please share it all over. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.